Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 21 to the end. Etam bhukva swargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्याः चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्य विधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्तेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रम् पुष्पम् फलम् तोयम् यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि तमोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्तं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य पापयोनयः धियो वैश्याः तथा शूद्राः ते यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मनामवभक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामैवैष्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति। Verse 22 is referred as a central verse because it covers the entire idea of the Bhagavad Gita. What the seeker is supposed to do and what God is supposed to do. What does a bhakta do? What does God do? What is expected out of bhakta and what is the role of God. These two things. And there he says, he is referring to bhaktas here. We refer to Nishkama bhaktas. Okay, not Sakama bhaktas. Sakama bhaktas he has already completed. In 22, he is talking about Nishkama bhaktas. And from 23, he will take a different direction. Suddenly he will take. So he started with Sakama bhaktas. He comes to Nishkama bhaktas. And then he goes to another type. Right? Most of us will fit into that category. From 23 to 25. That's another category. Very interesting, presentation here. So in 22, he is referring to those who seek God, those who reach to God for the sake of God. That's it. There is nothing else. So what you want is this. For which he says, what does that person do? That Nishkama Bhakta, what does he do? He maintains Ananya Chinta, he says. He just maintains no other thought. Is no deviation. What is the meaning here is this. There is no deviation because the direction is fixed. When you have when you work, when you live, when you move anywhere, that movement demands a direction. Right? If the direction is not fixed, then your movement will be in all directions. Which means, what is the meaning of that? Meaning of that is, any effort that you put in to move in a particular direction will get cancelled by your own effort moving in the other direction. Which means all your lifetime what you will be doing self-cancelling activities. All actions will be cancelling the effort of your own. See, what you create, you destroy. What you do, you undo. See, that will not be in the life of Nishkama Bhakta. Or in our language, you can put it as a seeker. The one who is seeking moksha. Now, the direction can be fixed in either ways. Now, if you can conceive of realization, liberation, moksha, mukti, enlightenment, God realization, it's up to you. If you can do that. If not, have a fixation. And that is how anyone in the world has achieved. See, the sportsman has a goal fixed. I am going to become a football player. He fixes. First, he chooses sports. In sports, he chooses a particular field. In that field, he chooses to play the particular position. Isn't it? In football, you have forward, midfield, defense, goalie. Isn't it? There are many things. Like in cricket, we have many positions. You can be a batsman, you can be a bowler, you can be a wicket keeper, you can be an all-rounder. You can choose. And then you start working in that direction. When you do this, so many other opportunities or so many other options, temptations will come in your way. You can't escape. Those things will come. When those things comes, those challenges were to come, those temptations were to appear, not to yield, not to succumb to that, which will help you is only reinforcement of the goal. If you're not going to be reinforcing your ideal, remembering your ideal, reinforcement to what I mean is remembering it. Now, what do you want to do? And most of us have no clarity on what you expect out of yourself. You say, I'm going to get married. You say, what do you expect out of marriage? Huh? I don't know. I don't think this person fits for me. I say, first of all, whether the other person is going to be fitting to you or not can be defined after you specify what you expect out of that relationship, isn't it? Partner, you should know what to expect out of that partner. And then comes whether this particular person will fit in. Our problem is we don't have a clarity on what is generally to expect. See, in every facet you take, what to expect. That's what we mean by goals. What do you want? What you think that this is going to give you? If you have that clarity, and if you keep that reminded again and again, then what will happen? You will not be performing self-cancelling activities. One of the biggest problem of human life is this self-cancelling. What you do, you undo by doing the contrary. That's the meaning of self-cancelling. So either case you are doing only. Only thing is what you started moving in the opposite direction. So all that energy that you have spent to move in a particular direction is a waste. So then that person says, in midlife, he says what? Crisis. What is the purpose of life? There is no meaning to life. Vedanta is correct. There is no meaning to life. He is not talking out of wisdom. He is talking out of frustration, irritation, disappointment. His life is full of disappointments. What is a disappointment? This is a disappointment. Going in the opposite directions. You want to make money? Fix. I'm going to make money. That's it. Don't worry about other things. You want to play sports? Play sports. Don't try to do. Don't try to put your foot everywhere. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this also. This and this and that also. You cannot get it. That you will never be able to achieve. But surprisingly, Krishna gives a fascinating promise here. To whom he gives that promise is very interesting. Says, I will grant yoga and kshema. To whom? That is a good question. Most of us don't ask that question. We think God will grant. He is not going to be giving it to anyone and everyone. And he has put his condition very clearly. And if you carefully analyze, it is absurd condition. Because the condition is Nishkama Bhakta. Nishkama Bhakta means the meaning of Nishkama is what? No desire. When you live your life without any desire, then all your desires will get fulfilled. You're all with me. When you are not having any desires, don't worry, I will fulfill all your desires. Yeah, I'm not having a desire, man. Says, no, 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 your desire will get fulfilled. Don't worry, all desires, yoga and Kshema, material or spiritual. This is the absurdity of the verse. And then we glorify the verse. Wow, what a fantastic verse. The fellow says, fantastic verse, we should immediately pay attention. Something is wrong there. What is wrong in the verse is this. Puts a fascinating knot here. Naughty fellow. Those who are ever seeking union, I grant them yoga and Kshema. Fascinating idea. Why he is referring to these two things is wanting of these two alone, you go in opposite directions, cancelling each other. See, one day you want to become spiritual, one day you want to take care of your material things also. After, one house, then, some money in the bank, right? After that, I'm ready for whatever you say. After that, I'll join one white gold. Few loans are there. Once I settle all that, I said, you're asking a wrong person. Now, what he wants from me is that he's not come for, understanding Vedanta. He has come to ask me how to clear the loans. I said, if I know how to clear the loans, why I'm sitting here? I will go and advise Vijay Mallya and this Nirav Modi. They will be my clients. Why are you my client? He will be my client if I know how to settle up, loans, clear loan. And this fellow comes and asks me. After that, sir, I'll join Vedanta Academy. I said, forget it. You and your Vedanta, forget it. And here he says, I will settle your accounts, don't worry. To whom he says? To the fellow, exactly. Not to the one who doesn't have a loan. To the one, nobody will give loan. The promise of this is like that. Like Swamiji says, beautiful. Krishna's promise of I grant yoga kshema is like you go to a house. Guru says, what do you like to have? All that you have to do, bring decoction, milk, sugar in 1 cup. I will give you coffee. Decoction, milk, sugar in 1 cup. That also you have to bring it in 1 cup. In 1 cup you bring all. That's what he says, no? Ananya Chitta. No other thought. Everything should be one thought only. So all that you put in 1 cup and bring it to me, I will give you coffee. Who needs your coffee? That this verse is. But it's an amazing verse. Even though we just, superficially mock or joke about it, the spiritual jokes these are. It's a very subtle joke. We don't understand the subtle jokes. I grant yoga kshema. And Krishna says that he must be laughing inside. And Arjuna also, oh, you give, is it? Wow. He will be laughing inside. Joke. Verse 22, chapter 9, central verse of Bhagavad Gita. What? Joke. So the entire Bhagavad Gita central theme is what? Joke. a fun action. I grant. See, the problem of life, he says, yoga, kshema. The problem we have is this: you strive to work. All your works were classified under two categories: your efforts. You cannot be doing effort anything apart from this. One, trying to get something that you are not having, or putting effort to preserve what you have. That's all. All your efforts were classified under these two categories only. One, you say that I am not having a car. Now what? Put an effort, get that money, buy that car, and keep that car. Gain what you don't have. Effort is put into gain whatever I am not having. I am not having name. Put an effort, gain. I don't have knowledge. Put an effort, gain. I don't have fame. Put an effort, gain. Right? Whatever, tangible, intangible, this world, other world, anything you can put in that bracket. Another aspect we have is you put an effort to preserve whatever you have got. So I don't want anything more, but I don't want to lose whatever I have. Like this to that investment consultants, they say. Sir, after retirement, you got some money. What to do with this? Why don't you invest in stocks? He'll say, Ayyo, put in the bank. There is no interest you get. Because the interest you get is only 4.5%. Inflation itself is 6.5%. Right? Actually. It doesn't matter. At least I will not lose my money. There's no risk of loss, you see. That's it. So which means what? Now the effort is to hold on to whatever I have. I've got this market share, I have to hold on to that market. I don't want to lose that market share of mine. Yes. Or else you say, I have got that name. Now I put an effort to, nobody should talk bad about me. Why? I have already built a reputation. What? He's a good guy. Example. Okay. Example. Now, so much of effort. Why do you have to put in so much of effort? To maintain that. I have, people think we belong to that particular strata. So what to do? Put an effort to preserve it. Now, what is so interesting is any amount of effort you put in, you never feel satiated, achieved, or secure. Whatever you gain also, you will never feel that you have achieved it. If at all you feel it is only a matter of Neeraj Chopra, the fellow who got javelin, gold. Another fellow's problem is what? He says, now my problem is, any tournament I go, they expect me to win. If he loses in a tournament, finished. Even if he goes to a college tournament, let's say, they expect him to win there. Imagine one college boy wins in a tournament where Neeraj Chopra also there. He can't afford to hold on to. And the problem is, somewhere down the line, he will lose. Isn't it? The last run of Usain Bolt. What happened? Last run of his. He couldn't win. Right? Such a tragedy, I tell you that. We're just flipping. It's South Africa, the house. After I don't know what to do. We are supposed to go out. I got ready and sitting there, and the host they're not ready. So they are preparing themselves. So I know what to do. They just switched on the TV. I was just flipping channels there. Suddenly I saw the sports. I said, what? Suddenly so much of noise. What tournament is this now? Then I saw this man coming in. And what a reception, for when he walked in. Full camera on him, running. Full camera on him. Other fellow won. Full camera on him. Who? Usain Bolt. See that video, very interesting. No one bothered about that fellow who won that tournament. He ran the race, actually. He won there. But whole focus only on this guy. You will lose whatever you have gained. Now come to this verse. What Krishna promising here is, as a person who is not paying any attention to the intermediary things of life, all the necessities of life will be granted to him, and it will be reserved for his requirement. Who is going to ensure that? He says, I will ensure it. See, in God you must trust. Seek the kingdom of heaven. Everything else shall be added on to you. Says no. This is what he means. Yoga kshemam pahamya. I will grant all that is necessary for you that is not there with you. Also, I will give it and not snatched away. It will be provided to you and it will be preserved and maintained with you. It will be with you. It will not go. You get it. All that is needed. That's what he is referring as yoga and kshema. Suppose, sir, if I put an effort and get it, what will happen? I don't need you. I don't need Krishna. I don't need his support. I will do it myself. I will work. I will get. You will get. But the problem is what? You can never feel that sense of completeness. You will never feel that sense of achievement. You will feel it only for 2 days. That's all. 1983 World Cup. Today you go and meet Kapil Dev. Ask him, what do you think of 1983 World Cup? Wow, fantastic. But there's no sugar in coffee. The excitement of winning the World Cup is nothing in comparison to extra cube of sugar in coffee. Now, which is bigger now? Cube of sugar bigger or winning World Cup bigger? But today that looks so, yeah. But that's past, you see. That's old story. 2011 we won, right? 2011 won. Again what? Today you ask, 2011 we won that World Cup. What is that? When you are playing that game, so much of pressure, isn't it, to get it? Yoga Kshema means you will not have any pressure till you achieve it. And after you achieve it also, you will feel complete. That's called Yogakshema. There's no pressure. Till you achieve. Now, if you say, no, I am going to work on that and get it. This. Another way of seeing the same thing with reference to preservation is, you can also work with reference to preservation, and every preservation of yours will be coupled with sense of insecurity. You can strive. You can keep it in the bank. Right? After a point, what will happen? You check your password. Right? Check your password. One Nigerian businessman died with a room full of cash, which he wanted to distribute, wanted to give it to people. So the problem is what? He sent mails to people. Nobody responded. Finally, the fellow died. And these people wanted to open. The problem is what now? It's a security code. It's not told that security code to anyone. It's not told anyone. What is the bank password? Money is there. So many banks. There, those money is unclaimed. Nobody is claiming that. Why nobody is claiming it? Because his own family members don't know. Many fellows. Which means what? He has not told his own son what is the amount where he has kept, which bank, how much is there, what is the login password. It's not given. Why? Insecurity. You feel insecure with whom? Your own shadow, you will be scared. Says Ramkirti. You'll be scared of your shadow. If you strive, you acquire, and you think that I'm going to preserve it. The moment this fellow says, I am not interested in any one of this. I am interested only in the goal. Keep going in the direction. He says what? I will stand as a security guard to protect. What is the problem? For everything I have referred, corresponding you see in the Purana stories. For every one of them. That's what the Puranas do. They spin a big story. All that they give is only this idea, this idea, this idea, this idea. That's all it is. What do you get? I grant this yoga and kshema. You don't have to put an effort to preserve, and you will not have the worry of the sense of insecurity. You don't have to work to gain, and you don't have to worry about the sense of fulfillment out of that gain. You don't have to work with reference to preservation. I don't have to worry about the sense of insecurity also. Yogakshema. 2 points. Right. The first one, I told you, the very basic one is peace, prosperity. Second one is material, spiritual. Okay. Yoga and kshema. Yoga, spiritual well-being. Kshema, material well-being. Taken care. Now, yoga, kshema gives another. Now, he says, yoga, kshema will be viewed. Now, so far, all that we have seen is our level of interpretation. Right? Now, we go one step further. We say, no, yoga, kshema is not that. Because yoga, kshema is addressed to whom? Yogakshema, he is not promising to you and me. He is promising this to that Mumukshu, to that Nishkama Bhakta. To him, what would be the meaning of this? You see that? I'll grant you, man, don't worry about it. Means, he will, this is what he is saying, I'll grant, you don't worry. So when he says, I'm going to grant, he has to grant in the eyes of that person, what he needs, what he is seeking, where he will be interested. Isn't it? It cannot be like, I am not interested in that. You say, I will grant that. Don't worry, I will take care of it. He says, first of all, I don't need it. I am not interested in that. You are telling me, I will give you, I'll take care of it. I don't want all that, is what his stand will be. So, in his eyes, what would be the meaning? How he will interpret that word yoga and kshema is the another way. So, first to four is a very ordinary one. Now we go to the next one. He says, what is that yoga? What is that kshema for him? He says that yoga is the stability to pursue, to stay in the path. Finally granting realization. Two things I take care, he says. One is, he says, I am maintaining that Ananda Chinta, but even though I am maintaining that, I am attempting to maintain that Ananda Chinta, by nature the mind will do what? Nature of mind we have already seen. Asthira and Chanchala. Right? So, essentially the nature of mind is Asthira Chanchala, means it will keep showing its behavior. Old behaviors will keep coming, will come and disturb. Now, if I have to work on to hold, it is difficult. Krishna says, you don't worry about it. I will put that mind in place. You just keep thinking. You keep doing this. I will take care of it. That is yoga. Then finally he says, I grant that kshema also. What is kshema? What is a final kshema for life? Realization. There's nothing else. Nothing else can give you final goodness, satisfaction, fulfillment to your life. So what is wellness of actual life is realization. I grant that realization also. Now, is there any justification for that? Or is it just a false claim? A claim without any grounding, without any logic behind it? Is it? No. This is where the commentators come and help us. They say, no. There is a logic behind it. He's not simply saying. He says, I am giving this pursuit. I'm giving this yoga. I'll stick you to the spiritual path, which is called yoga. Spiritual effort is called yoga. I will ensure that you stay in the spiritual path. What is the spiritual path? Seeking union with self. Right? Now he says, I maintain it. Means what? You don't have to, you are not putting in effort, man. Actually, that is maintained by me. Ananya Chinta, you are thinking, but holding on to that pursuit, pursuing what? The self. Self means what? Brahman, God, infinite. Says, in any direction you go, you will not be rest contented until you hit that infinite. You pursue anything, One fellow says, my life mission is to get money. How much you ask him? Another person says, my life mission is to get wealth, name, fame, knowledge. How much knowledge is enough? Einstein says, what is my knowledge compared to my ignorance? How much is there? He is not satisfied with all his knowledge. He says what? I want more knowledge because I see more ignorance. More and more ignorance, more and more ignorance, more and more conquer that. Convert ignorance into knowledge. Convert ignorance into knowledge. And I keep converting. How long you will go on converting? Endlessly. Isn't it? Which is infinite. Till you hit that infinite, you will not be discontented. So, when you are pursuing anything, what is driving that pursuit? It is that infinite is driving your pursuit. In that sense, he says, I grant yoga. See? Are you able to follow? Because it looks clear to me. I'm not sure whether it is making any sense actually. Huh?
That's why you mentioned this. One deviates and goes off. It has to come back.
Has to come back. Correct.
Any direction you go.
Any direction you go, you are going in singular direction only. What is that singular direction? Towards infinite. So in that sense, all of you are having only Ananya Chitta, he says. You see, all your chitta is only towards what? Infinite only. You may say, I'm striving to achieve infinite through wealth, one person says. I'm striving to achieve infinite through emotion, one fellow says. Another person says through knowledge. Another person says through name. Another person says through fame. Another person says through this, through that. Through may vary, but final destination for all of you is what? This. So you will keep on pursuing wealth, to go on in the same direction. Who is maintaining it? The infinite is maintaining. Suppose if that infinite is not there, what will be the case? Is Ananya Chinta possible? No other thoughts are. No. If it is not there, then what will happen? You will pursue this a little, drop it, forget it, jump into something else. Forget it, jump onto something else. Something else. Something else. That's all. You keep on moving in different directions. He says, apparently you may be looking like you are moving in different directions, but essentially all directions are moving towards the center. One. You may move in any angle. All the angles are moving towards the center. There is no option. So who is maintaining all the movement? I am maintaining it. You may be appearing to be maintaining that Ananya Chitta initially, but right through who is going to maintain? Not you. It is maintained by me, he says. Therefore, he says, I give you that stability, your consistency in the pursuit of the self. In that Nishkama Bhakti, who is going to give you that Nishkama Bhakti Stiram? The stability, the balance, your rootedness. That rootedness you will not get through this. I grant it. But I will not grant straight away. I will grant it after I have tested or you attempting to maintain that Ananya Chitta. What is attempt of Ananya Chitta here? That apparently I may be pursuing wealth, I may be pursuing emotions, I may be pursuing knowledge, I may be pursuing name, fame, etc. But essentially I am pursuing only infinite. Instead of going through roundabout method, why not think of infinite directly? Why not seek infinite directly? This is all you have to do. Once you do that, after that I will take over. Up to what? Full journey and then the destination also. I will grant you that infinite also. See, it's not that your pursuit of infinity I am going to maintain. Achieving that infinity also you will get. So then the Nishkama Bhakta will be inspired. Then that Mukshu, the seeker, is inspired. Correct. Yes. Because if I have to maintain right through, this worry will be what? Oh my God. In that time, I have to keep fighting with this mind. Astira, Chanchala, Astira, Chanchala, Astira, Chanchala, all the time fighting. Too much here. I'll get tired somewhere down the line. From where will I get energy? From where will I get that strength for me to fight this demon called mind? That is only worry for a seeker. He will not have any other worries. He will not have a problem. Oh, what will I do for next meal? What will I get there? What will I get here? Will anybody listen to me? Will anyone follow my advice? Will I be able to understand this concept or that concept? If I understand, I don't, who cares? Do you understand Purushartha? Prarabdha? Okay, I don't understand Prarabdha, Purushartha. So what? My problem is not Prarabdha, Purushartha. My problem is what? Will I get out of the clutches of my own mind? When will I get that freedom? Is what his concern is. And all that Krishna says is, you start that Ananya Chinta. Ananya Chinta, when? Not right through. You put in little effort to begin that Ananya Chinta. After that, autopilot. You don't have to worry. Yes. Right through, autopilot. International flights, that's what they do. Take off. Once they take off and reach to whatever, the altitude they're supposed to, the height they're supposed to hit. After that, they switch on to autopilot mode. And the pilot is fast asleep. Imagine you're flying, the pilot is sleeping. Scary, I tell you. And particularly when there is some, jerks. Hey, wake up, man. Our fellow will not wake up us. Because he's used to it. No, we are not used to it. He's used to it. So, you say it's like a good cradle, nice it is. It's sleep. Scary. I got really scared. I don't know about you people. I got scared. Hey, sleeping or man? I asked that lady also, is he awake or sleeping? Of course, he will say, no, sir, we don't. Very honestly, she replied, no, sir, in our flights, our pilots don't sleep. I know. every aircraft, every international flights on these people. Otherwise, they can't survive. So interesting. Autopilot mode. After that, I will take over. Don't worry. And then the seeker will have that relaxation. Otherwise, imagine till you hit infinity, you have to work. How many janmas you will work? How many things if you add, you will hit infinity? 5 billion and 5 billion. 5 billion multiplied by 5 billion. Okay, trillion by trillion. Anything bigger than that? You will hit infinity. Now, from that distance of infinity, the trillion by trillion is what? Nowhere near. Right? Now, this is the insecurity, fear of a bhakta. Where are you and where am I? There is how much punya if I do, I will get an entry into Vaikuntha. Right? Because I know if I do Somayaga, I will get an entry into Swarga. Swargaloka, I will get an entry. So all that I have to do is what? Perform Somayaga. Of course, to perform that Somayaga, so to perform that Vajapaya, all those things, there are preparations, whatever you have to do, whatever qualification needed, all that is specified, very clear that is. I know the price, right? What I have to do to get there. If I do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and if I keep on doing, if I keep doing more and more of such actions, I will gather so much of punya with which I can get into heaven. Correct. Nowhere in the Shastras there is a reference. How much if you do, you will get an entry into Vaikuntha. Up to Brahmaloka they have given. Right. Now, I am not interested in Brahmaloka. I am interested in Vaikuntha. I am interested in Shivaloka. Right? I am not interested if you are a Shaivite. Okay? Vaikuntha because Krishna. Therefore, I am preferring Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha. You know, will I get an entry there? What if I do, I will get an entry there? He says, you don't worry about it. I will get an entry visa for you there also. So I will ensure that you reach up to Vaikuntha. Also, I will take you inside also. Don't worry about it. Yoga Kshemam Mahamya. I will maintain the spiritual pursuit and also grant that realization. Beautiful idea. This is a bhakta. If you are pursuing the whole thing from the angle of intellectual, devotional is this. If you are following intellectual dimension, there yoga refers to knowledge. Right? He gives you that knowledge. Jnana. Kshema refers to jnana nishta. Establishing in that. See, there are two different things. In knowledge, there are two stages. One, you understand. Second one is you get established in that understanding. Two stages it happens, isn't it? Wisdom, yes. One is knowledge. Another one is wisdom. I'll grant you both, he says. All that you have to maintain is what? maintain your consistency of thought. That also you don't have to worry about it right through. Initially, till you hit that height, that's all you need. Our problem is take off a problem. Right? Our flight is not taking off. Like this movie, Ajay Devgan movie, latest one, Butch or movie that came. There's an attack, so they had to take soldiers in a flight. They are planning to take around 500 soldiers and 500 soldiers. They get into the flight, remove all the seat and this and all standing. I believe it happened actually. I don't know whether it's true or false, but it's possible during the war. They had to take off. And the problem is, the flight is so heavy. All 500 soldiers, of course, with all their equipment and all that, arms and all, for them to stand, it's so heavy. It runs, but it's not taking off. So he comes back again and stops. And they said, take off not possible. Why? Too heavy. Now they are making announcement. That's the interesting part. They're making announcement. Every soldier is looking at the other fellow. You go. Very interesting. They're going for death actually, fellows. Amazing guys. You have to be, I don't know, they are of a different, mindset. Yes, soldiers. The fellows like that. They're not taking off. Our flight is, it's not taking off. Why? Too much of baggage. Let's offload all that. That's the first thing you have to do. Reduce the weight, extra baggage of your attachment, possessiveness, your desires, selfishness, drop that. Then what will happen? Flight will take off. And maintain that. Keep increasing the altitude. Keep going, keep going. You hit that particular altitude. After that, what? I'll take care. Initial work only yours. Total journey. You hit the height in a matter of 15 minutes. They take off. Superb it is, experience. First time when I go to the flight, when you get the ticket, I asked them, give me window seat. Not near the wings, because I wanted to see. Sometimes the windows, yeah, they'll give near. We will see only the wings. But anyway, it is so scary. Suddenly you see somewhere you are. Suddenly all the tall buildings looks like matchboxes. In a matter of few seconds, 30 seconds or so, that's all. They are somewhere. Massive experience. Same way here. Take off. After that, autopilot. Don't worry about it. Even landing also autopilot is. In our case, landing again, he has to work on. He says, landing also don't worry. I will grant it.
Maybe a hypothetical question. What do you need to do a kind of a plan? Is there a chance that once you keep Ananya Chinta, for those persons, can they drop off? Can they maybe come down?
After you hit the height, after autopilot has taken over, all is almost impossible.
Another question, how long they need to be there to be on autopilot?
But that we'll never know. At what height, autopilot. That's how the passengers will be. At what point the pilot has switched on to autopilot mode, we will never know. As a persons who are traveling, We will never know. You have to assume. He will take over. You don't have to worry about it. Autopilot will take over. You don't have to worry about it. Our job is only what? To hit that target. But the problem here is we don't know what is the target. Is it 10,000 feet or 15,000 feet or 30,000 feet? No idea. But you hit that height, you will. So all your effort is what? Take to that height. Once you reach there, he says you don't have to worry about it. See, because why he is saying all this is the mind essentially has that fatigueness for effort. See, essentially, mind is lazy and tamasic. It doesn't want to work. Now, to that mind, when you say, oh, you have to slog till you hit infinity, how much effort I have to put in? See, the very thought will cancel your inspiration. So, to sustain your inspiration, he gives this promise. Otherwise, your inspiration will go. If you say, sir, I wanted to get, I'm earning, 25,000 rupees. Goal is to get 70,000 rupees. It's possible for you, isn't it? You can work on it because you have you can understand how much effort is needed. That's why I gave the example of even Swargaloka, you know how much effort you got to put in, what you have to do for that. But to hit infinity, how much effort you have to put in? It's like saying, the first call people ask us is this. Starting the Bhagavad Gita class, what will it become? How long it will go? Right? How long it will go?
We can answer.
Now you can answer it, no? Isn't it? Right? But everyone has this thought of what? When you start your fitness, right? First question we ask is what? How long if I exercise, I will get a flat stomach. You get a flat stomach. What are you going to do with that? Huh? Model, huh? You're not a model. Then why do you want to? Don't ask me. Tell me when will I do it? I want to lose 15 kgs. How long I have to work? The moment you start thinking of how long, how much of effort I have to put in, is where you become susceptible for exploitation. Isn't it? Because that's where people say, you don't have to do anything. I don't know why people struggle to lose their fat. I will give you a belt. Put on that belt and eat chips, watch TV, and keep a Coca-Cola also with you, and keep drinking. You will see in a matter of 60 days, you will lose weight. 3 inches guaranteed. If you don't return it, I will take it back. You return the belt, I'll give that money back. No questions asked. You have seen advertisement, no? I used to watch all those ads. Very, very interesting. Right through and watch. That old, the Dish TV when we had here in Basambudi. Dish TV, there's an exclusive channel only for this. So whenever I get bored, I'll switch on that. And they'll give all sorts of things. Some massager. All that you have to do is just hold it. It'll massage. You go off. Which means what? So simple. That is telling in the other class. It's telling. One fellow comes and says, sir, marriage is not happening. Why? Your family deity is angry with you. Oh, you. What to do now? Do one breathing. 10,000 rupees for that. 10,000 rupees. Do that. I said, what sort of anger that God has? If 10,000 rupees can appease that fellow, what is the strength of his anger? Huh? The God of it. So that fellow got really annoyed with me. He got really angry. That is all the strength of their curses. The curse of that can be squared off with 10,000 rupees. And then I ask him, 10,000 is expensive. What to do? He says, okay, I'll do it for 8,000 rupees for you. Negotiation starts, debate starts, discussion starts. All this is because of what? Because we have that fundamental weakness. What is a weakness? Mind instantly pitches up. Anywhere you have to put in effort, it will straight away start asking this question: how long? How much? How long I have to work? How much of effort I have to put in? Right? Now, when you come to this Nishkama Bhakti, you are attempting to shift from Sakama Bhakti to Nishkama Bhakti. See, this verse is interpreted at two levels. Remember, these sort of verses always have two levels of interpretation. One is absolute, one is relative. Now, most of the time, I skip that absolute interpretations because it has no connection. Yeah, I can understand. So I say, yeah, I'll read it and move away. It doesn't make any, it doesn't inspire me. Therefore, I don't, even talk about it. A relative one is very interesting. The relative one is what? He is addressing whom? Krishna, just now he spoke about who? Till 21. Sakama Bhaktas. Now, the Sakama Bhakta has heard this. That's how I have visualized. My visualization is this. Person is reading the Bhagavad Gita. He reads that and he sees and he realizes what? Oh my God. I thought Sakama Bhakti is such a great one. Now I have understood the wanting. What is the defect? What is the lacuna? What is the problem with that Sakama Bhakti? Now, let me switch over to Nishkama Bhakti. Okay. When I am switching over to Nishkama Bhakti, what is the first problem I will encounter? Nishkama Bhakti, what are you seeking? You are seeking God. God is infinite. To get this finite, I have to put in this much of effort. To get that infinite, how much of effort I have to put in? For finite, finite effort. For infinite, infinite effort. Logically correct. Is there a possibility for me to put in infinite effort? No chance. So what will I do? Go back to Sakama Bhakti. Good to talk, sir, but not practical. Like I've heard this from many people. Sir, all that you are talking about Bhagavad Gita, correct. But for practical life, it will not work in practical life. To which he says, no, it works in practical life. Now, we just cannot logically prove it. Because he says, you don't work. Right? You don't have to work. But all your needs will be fulfilled. How? Don't ask me how. I will take care of it. I am taking care of it. What is your problem? It's exactly like the father telling the son, hey, keep studying. No, but I wanted to get, I'll take care of it. But I wanted to enroll for this, it costs, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. He says, but I'm so tired, I'm so bored, I wanted to relax. He says, what? I'll take you to a movie. We'll go for the match. We'll go outing. We'll go to the restaurant. That also taken care of. And all the needs of that child with reference to his dress and his books and his food, his comforts, everything taken care of. All that he has to do is what? Study. This is what the father says. Parent says what? You do that, we'll provide all that. Mother says, somehow pass the exam. I will be awake whole night and every 2 hours I'll make tea and give you. Study and pass the exam. That's all. My mother used to do. We'll do group study in the room. And for group study, we carry our cards also with us. Because without cards, not memory cards, they have, GRE, TOEFL and all those, those people have one, they have a card. They'll have 10 words and then the meaning of those 10 words and all that. Our cards are different. Same one side, different other side. As we played, poor lady, every 2 hours, religiously she'll wake up, keep alarm. And that is our signal. If alarm rings in the next room, means we know. She's going to wake up in another 5 minutes, she will enter the room. To put everything and keep the books open. And we had the advantage of accounts notebook. See, it's all long, easy to cover. You just start working. Hey, what is that? Debit day, credit day? I'll have tea and then, okay. Even if you pretend, right, it will be provided. Pretend Ananya Chinta. He'll provide it. It's easy to fool. Very easy. All that you have to do is what? Okay. Next time when you go to Tirupati, don't ask him anything. Just go there and say what? How are you? Just come to see you now. There's so much of rain, I saw. YouTube, I saw this one. I just came to see. Is everything okay? Anything needed? Ask him and come back. Don't ask him anything. Simply pretend. You come back, contract will be sanctioned to you. You don't have to do anything. That's what future, now he's going to say that. All that you have to do is patram, palam, pushpam, toya. That's all you have to do. It's cheap. Very cheap. Very economical. It's easy to buy God. But our, mind can never understand this economics. Because just put one flower you give, and the fellow is going to give you that. They say, is it bad? Krishna accepts that I am mad. What? All that you have to do is what? Just maintain the Ananya Chinta. Everything shall be taken care of. It's needed. To whom? Not to the person who has already established in that Nishkamata Bhakti. To him it is not needed. He will skip this verse and go. He'll say, okay, I know. Go. He will just dismiss it and walk out. But it is fascinating. It is so interesting to the person who is attempting to shift, attempting to grow from Sakama Bhakti to Nishkama Bhakti. See, to that mind, this is so interesting. It's needed. Otherwise, infinite effort I have to put in. Impossible. Therefore, what to do? And essentially, the mind has that sense of insecurity with reference to anything that I acquire, All I have seen in my life, all that I have seen in others' life, all that I have read in the history, everything shows one thing. What? Nothing stays permanently. It's taken away. I put in so much of effort, get it. If it is going to be taken away, what is the point? See, because it's not easy to maintain that Ananya Chitta. Even to take off to that altitude itself is difficult. You give it to me, but what's a guarantee to be there with me? Because the mind has that sense of insecurity also. So the mind has these multiple weaknesses. The weakness of Asthira Chanchala, also the weakness of tamas, essentially not wanting to put in effort. Also, it has the weakness of the guarantee of the end. Also, it has the weakness of that insecurity. See how many weaknesses it has. He addresses all those weaknesses in one word, Yoga Kshemam Mahamya. That's why it's a very popular one. A lot of people keep referring to Yoga Kshemam Mahamya, Yoga Kshemam Mahamya. Why? Is all the weaknesses that you can think of, the mind can carry, is addressed in this one statement. And all that he is asking from our side is what? Not even maintain that Ananya Chitta. Attempt to maintain that Ananya Chitta. That is enough. Very interesting. In Bhagavata Mahatmya, it's a text explaining every text has a Mahatmya. That what is the glory of the text. So they say, if you read that Palasthiti, we say, no, after this, all this, you will get. Never it works. Right? Don't believe in all that. Okay? Because I believed in it. You chant it once a day, you will get this. Chant it twice a day, you get that. Chant it thrice a day, you get this. I tried it. Really, genuinely I tried. Nothing happens. Shivaratri, one night you be awake and think of Shiva, you will get enlightenment. I genuinely thought. How easy. I genuinely thought when I was a child, boy. Maybe I must be in 5th standard or 6th standard. I genuinely thought, and I somehow kept awake. Shivaratri. Oh, next day morning was really drowsy. Maintain awake and keep listening to the Rudra. Abhishekam, they'll be doing the Rudra Abhishekam. So you have to keep listening to it. Maintain. Next day morning, I said, no, only I didn't feel any difference. I thought, suddenly Shiva will come, like I saw the movies, I genuinely thought, like Markandeya, you go and hug that Shivalinga, Shiva will appear in front of. I used to visualize, I used to genuinely think. And every time, these buffaloes come, I used to look on top. Yama is supposed to be sitting. Uva, please come, so that I can run towards. Come, when I was near the Kabalishwara temple, don't come, when I am near Santom. Because by the time I run from Santom to church, I'm saying, in Malapur, from Santom church to Kabalishwara temple, it will be too late. So, only request is, you just come when I am near that Kabalishwara temple, so that I can run inside and go and hug that Shivalinga and he will appear. That's so simple. All that you have to do is what? Maintain. Your mind will never subscribe to it, actually. It says, it doesn't happen that way. You feel. Mind's all weaknesses gets addressed. I grant it. All that you have to do is what? Attempt. Same way. This Bhagavata Purana, they give the story. They give, what all you will get if you read, the text. So he gives a list first. You will get that, you will get this, you will get this, you will get this, you will get this, you will get. I'm not telling what all you will get. Okay. And then you will say, change the text to that. From Bhagavad Gita to Bhagavatam, you will start. All that you will get. For what? You read full Bhagavatam. If you read the Dashanas, read the Kalina and Ardhana portion. If you read the Krishna Avatar portion, then what? Did you listen? Okay, I can't read. If you listen to it, entire Bhagavatam, half, then if you wish to listen to Bhagavatam, you get all this. What? I was there in that lecture. This man is there. The Bhagavatam says, if you have the desire to read Bhagavatam or listen to Bhagavatam, you get all this. I didn't meet that man after that. All that you require is what he says. To those persons who worship me thinking of nothing else. He's not talking about a person who is achieved it. The one who is attempting to achieve it is enough. You will get this, and this, and this, and this, and this. All this. Why he has to refer all these things is this confidence is necessary for a person who is going to attempt. He needs it. That is why it is an important verse. Otherwise, there is nothing extraordinary. But it's an extraordinary verse. Why? It gives such a confidence. Keep repeating this. At least the verse, not the idea. The verse keep repeating. Ejam Vidyabhuthana Yogakshem. Repeat. 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 That's all. Civics class.